Hi, and welcome to today's practice. Today we're going to be recording here from the greenhouse, mostly because Beecher was being really bad in the studio, and he's much better behaved out here. Anyway, today's practice is going to be a focus on our shoulders with some very specific movements in our practice. And this isn't to say that you're not going to be using your shoulders if you have a shoulder injury, but it's a way for us to really focus on the health and strength of the shoulders and rotator cuff. So if you're currently in an acute injury, just move through the practice very mindfully. And if you don't have any shoulder issues, it's still a great practice for everybody to do to avoid shoulder issues. I myself have had an issue for the last 3 weeks or so after I slipped and fell on the ice and thought the only thing I injured was my knee because I smashed it on the edge of a rock. But it turns out the jerk did something to my shoulder too. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this practice. You're going to need a couple of blocks, so grab a couple of blocks. We'll be using them in different ways throughout the practice. And we are going to get started in seated. And yeah, have a wonderful practice. We'll see you on the mat.
Welcome to today's practice with a focus on shoulders today. Let's start in seated, whatever comfortable seat looks like for you, and close your eyes and begin to connect with your breath. If you want to bring a little bit of movement into your seat as you settle, you may. And begin to bring your awareness to the belly, to the low belly. And if you wish to bring a hand to your low belly to assist you in finding that awareness, go ahead and do so. If you feel like you need grounding today, you can place your right hand touching the earth. And if you feel like you need a little more uplifting energy, bring your thumb and index finger to touch palms facing up on your knees or your thighs. Again, finding that belly breath, taking the hand position that best suits how you feel today. And as we find that belly breath, we're preparing ourselves for Kapata breath. So finding that contraction and expansion in your low belly. And then before we move to Kapata, let's just find a little bit of movement in our spine. And as you exhale, roll the spine back, holding onto your knees. And as you inhale, draw the heart up to the sky. And just rock back and forth, almost like a cat-cow, but seated. Opening and then drawing back and curling the spine up, drawing the belly in as you shift back. And lifting the heart, opening the front body as you shift forward. Just doing that a couple more times with your breath. Finding a little bit of movement. And then bring your awareness back to the low belly as you settle into a neutral spine. Inhale, reaching up to the sky and drawing the fingers into your palm, thumbs up to begin Kapata, or releasing your hands to your thighs. And starting this first round slowly, exhaling the breath out, initiating that from the low belly, allowing the inhale to roll in on its own. Keep going at your speed, remembering we're doing more than one round. So start slow this first round, exhaling all the old out. And then inhaling, reach up, possibly retaining the inhale at the top if you are able. And holding that inhale, building prana if you've chosen to go with the retention. And then slowly releasing the breath through the nose, lowering the arms down. And if you're sitting cross-legged, change the cross of your legs and just a few rounds of regular belly breath here before we go into our second round. Again, same arm options, hand options, either reaching up, drawing the fingers into the palm with thumbs pointing to the sky, arms parallel to the floor, and starting your Kapata, or releasing your hands to your thighs or knees. This time maybe moving a little bit faster with the exhale, the forced exhale. or if you feels more appropriate, staying at the slower speed. Letting go of all the old. And then inhaling, reach up for breath retention, if this is appropriate for you today. Holding the breath, possibly dropping the chin slightly on your retention and drawing the back of the skull back for a slight Jalandhara Bandha to hold the prana. And when you need to release, slowly exhale out the nose, release your arms down, hands to your knees or your thighs once again. And just feeling the effects, feeling your awareness into the low belly for belly breath. And then one last round. You reaching up and taking the hand mudra, either arms parallel to the side or releasing hands, and go ahead and begin your Kapatapali. And if you wish, you may go a little faster on this third round, or stay with the slower version that we did the first round. Keep moving with your Kapatapali, and then big inhale to reach up, maybe thumbs touching, retaining the breath. One more time here as we build prana in the heart center. Retaining as long as is comfortable for you, and when you need to release, slowly let the breath release through the nose. Hands come down to your thighs or knees once again. Just come back to your regular belly breath for a moment, noticing. And then you can open your eyes. We're going to make our way onto hands and knees for cat-cow. Again, just connecting breath, using your ujjayi breath here as you inhale, creating that restriction in the back of the throat, and exhale, drawing the belly in towards the spine, curling the spine up. And then moving between the two breaths once again, oscillating between your inhale, using your ujjayi, and your exhale, drawing the belly in towards the spine. Maybe you want to rock a little from side to side as well here. And then next exhale, find your way into child's pose. You can have arms extended coming up on your fingertips, or arms, elbows bent, or arms alongside your body, depending what you have going on in your shoulders and in your body today, taking the most appropriate position for the arms and hands. And then we inhale, come up, and make your way to a seat and onto your back. So we're going to start with a little bit of strengthening of the back muscles, the shoulder muscles. So on your back, feet up towards the sky, so legs are perpendicular to the floor. Bring your right arm across your belly. Your left arm is extended out to the side. Now we're going to go into some side, almost like twist, but we're going to keep the chest, the center of the heart, in line with the feet. So allowing that right shoulder to roll up as the legs move over to the side. And you might keep your head down on your mat, or you may lift your head. So let's switch that up. Right arm extends, left hand across the belly. And again, keeping the heart center facing the feet as we rotate the legs over to the side. Either lifting the head or keeping the head down on your mat if that's comfortable. And pausing at your lowest position. Come back to center as we switch it up again. So right hand on the belly, left arm extended. Slowly allow the feet to move diagonally and keep your heart center pointing towards the feet and back to center. So what's happening as you're doing this is you're pressing the extended arm into the floor and using those muscles across the back of the scapula, across the back of the shoulder blades, the back of the shoulder. And back to center, switching it up. And then release feet down to the floor. Let your arms be wide. And as you exhale, draw your arms across your body, crossing at the elbows, and reach your fingertips towards your shoulder blades, like you're giving yourself a really big hug. A nice big breaths into the upper chest here. Then release the arms wide, this time crossing the arms the opposite way that you did the first time. Reaching your fingertips towards the scapula, the shoulder blades, and breathe deep into the upper chest here. Filling and expanding against the compression of your arms and stretching into the upper back. And then release, let the arms come down to your side. And then rock from front to back, come up to a seat. We're going to be doing some shoulder blade circles or scapula circles. So we're going to start with the right arm, and you're going to extend the right arm straight out in front of you or almost at a 45-degree angle to the side. And I'm just going to take off my sweater so that you can see the shoulder blade. So arm is straight out and the arm is engaged. And we're really, the awareness, the rotation is in the shoulder blade. And we're moving our arm up and around like you're creating a whole circle with that shoulder blade. And I'm going to switch and just show you a different angle here in just a second so that you can see the shoulder blade circle around the back. So moving the arm, keeping the arm engaged and drawing the shoulder blade forward and around and then back and around and down. So getting into all those little muscles of the rotator cuff. There's basically a group of muscles that work with the shoulder and the shoulder blades. And just keep moving with your circle. Really concentrating on the shoulder blade itself rather than the arm, although the arm is engaged. So your arm on the left side now. Stretch the arm straight out in front of you and slightly at a 45-degree angle out to the side. So it's not straight out from your shoulder and it's not straight in front of you, but somewhere in between. And then again, moving in such a way that the shoulder blade circles up, around, down, forward, and back up. And we are going to go in the opposite direction in just a moment, switching back to the right arm, and this time drawing the shoulder blade down, up, and around, forward, down, to center, up, and around. And if you did this variation the first time, then go opposite this time. Just really sliding that shoulder blade in a circular motion on the back. And switching to the left arm. Again, moving the whole shoulder blade around in a circular way, opposite of what you did the first round. So we're really just warming up all those shoulder muscles. And if you've had a shoulder injury or been feeling some twinges, this is some really good exercises to do before you start your practice on any of our other practices as well. Just get those muscles engaged and warmed up. And then just pause for a moment seated. And just notice any of the sensations in your shoulders that you might be feeling. And then find your two blocks. And we're going to make our way down to our belly. And then bringing your blocks so that as you bring your arms into cactus arms, that your hands can just rest on your blocks. And this might be too much for some of you, and you might just rest your hands on the floor. But if you're able to rest the hands on the block, that is great. So just take a few moments where you're actually pressing the hands into the floor or into your block, depending which variation you're using. Pressing the pubic bone down, engaging the legs at the same time, and just with the forehead down. And then keeping the elbows down, lift the hands and forearms away from the floor, away from your blocks, and just hold there for a moment. So it's engaging those muscles in the back of the shoulder. And release the hands back down and actively pressing the hands down into your blocks or into your mat. So engaging in the opposite direction. And then move into the lift again. So elbows stay on the floor, hands, wrists, forehead, hands, wrists, forearms lift up. And then release down. So you can bring your arms alongside you, turning your head from one side to the other to soften through the shoulder blades. Some of you might want to have your forearms underneath your forehead. but whatever position feels right. So taking a moment just to rest the shoulders here before we move into our next variation. And this one, we're bringing our hands into a loose shape of Gomukhasana. So left back of the hand at the small of the back, right hand elbow in front of you bent so that the palm of your hand is on the shoulder blade or the back of the neck. And then lift palm and hand away from your body, and slowly we're going to switch sides, keeping the arms up as high as you can, extending them straight out from the shoulders as you pass through. And now right back of the hand at the sacrum, left hand elbows bent, palm on the back of your shoulder or the back of the neck. And now slowly moving into the other side and making that transition nice and slow, and keeping the arms lifted as we move in the other direction. And just keep moving nice and slow. The slow movement is what really gets into the muscles as you rotate the hands and move to the opposite direction. Nice and slow. And as we move into this, we're not looking to get our fingertips to touch. We're just moving into a very loose formation of this cow face or Gomukhasana arms. And you can feel the work of the shoulder blade muscles or the muscles around there. Release your hands down under your shoulders. And then we're going to press up into cobra, pubic bones pressing down, top of the feet pressing down, release down. And then bring your arms straight out from the shoulders, elbows bent, fingertips only lift up into your cobra. And use the exhale to release the forehead back down. And then we're pressing up and back into child's pose, and you can have your arms extended child's pose, or classic child's pose with your arms alongside your shins to release the shoulders a little bit more. And then inhale, rise up into tabletop. Just do a couple rounds of cat-cow to release any tension, and release tension in your neck. Try to avoid holding tension in the muscles around the neck here. Then we're going to do some, I call them shoulder blade push-ups. And so we're drawing the shoulder blades toward one another as the upper back, upper torso sinks towards the floor. I'm going to take my jacket off so you can see the movement of the shoulder blades a little bit better. And then we press the floor away from us and round the upper back and draw which causes the shoulder blades to move away from one another. So inhale, press away. Exhale, let the shoulder blades slide toward one another. And then keeping the shoulder blades away from one another, lift the knees up and back, downward facing dog. So when we move into down dog, we want that position of the shoulder blades to be away from the spine, not towards the spine. And then walk your dog out however you need to. Release tension in the neck. Bring some movement. And then on your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, heart, long, spine, long. Exhale, bow, bend the knees, rise up. Reach to the sky, circle the arms wide, look up, and draw into the heart center on your exhale. It's a little bit of breath movement here as we get moving. Inhaling, reaching long and high. Exhale, we bow to the earth. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Rise all the way up. And just keep moving. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow and rise, reach wide and high and look up, lengthen up, and exhale, bow. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen the spine forward. And let's step the right foot back behind us, coming into a lunge. So this might be where you use your 2 blocks here under your hands to bring the floor up to you. Hopefully your floor is not as dirty as my greenhouse floor. And then use your exhale to shift into reverse lunge. So getting into the hamstring. We're just using the breath to shift back and forth from our lunge position and into our reverse lunge position. Hands can be on the floor or keep your hands on your block, whatever is most appropriate for you today. Then we're going to step that right foot forward to meet our left in our forward fold. Lift the heart on the inhale. And as you exhale, step left foot back. So we're just moving straight into second side. We're going to keep building on this. Inhaling, the heart reaches forward. Exhale, reverse lunge. And just oscillate between the two with your breath, staying connected to your Ujjayi breath. And then stepping that left foot forward on the exhale, lift the heart on the inhale. Exhale, bow. And inhale, rise up. And exhale, we bow down again. Hands to your blocks or to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, step right foot back again for the second round. This time you can keep your right hand on the block or right hand to the floor. We're twisting to the left. So you can keep that left hand on that left knee. You can bring that left hand to your left hip, or you can reach that left hand up to the sky. You choose the appropriate position for what's going on in your body today. Exhale, release that hand down, step it forward. Inhale to lift the heart, lengthen the spine. Exhale to bow. And this time we rise up, reaching to the sky. Go ahead and use your exhale to fold forward, bow down to the earth once again. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, left foot steps back into our lunge position. Again, hands can stay on the blocks or hands can come to the mat, whatever is most appropriate. So left hand stays grounded wherever you choose it to be. The right hand can come to the right knee. The right hand can come to the right hip as we twist to the right. Or you can reach that right arm up to the sky and completely open up in your twist, in your lunge twist. So we're going to be building on these lunge twists as we move through our practice here today. Hold for one more breath and then release that hand down. Step it forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow down. And inhale, reach wide, reach up to the sky, look up. And exhale, bow. Just keep moving with our flow of lunges here, stepping right foot back. This time pivoting the right foot down for warrior one. Grab one of your blocks that you had in the front of your mat here and place it between your hands. And I'm sorry, I realize that I'm cut off in my film here. And just press the palm of the hand into the outside edges of your block as you reach the block up to the sky. And then we're bringing that block behind your back. And this time, see if you can just use your fingertips on the corners, the outside edges of your block. And then folding forward into a humble warrior. So your torso can be resting on your front thigh, really pressing into that left front foot and pressing your fingertips into your block to hold the block where it is. So we're using the shoulders in a little different way than when we normally intertwine our fingers here. Press into that front foot as you rise all the way up. And then block comes down. Hands come down, blocks to the mat, and step that right foot forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, we step the left foot back for warrior one on our second side, bringing your block up with you as you rise up between your hands, pressing the palms into the outside edges so you're not wrapping your fingers around the blocks. We're just using pressure of the palms to keep the block lifted. Lift the heart here. And then release the hands behind you with the block between your hands, holding the block with just the fingertips. Elbows can be slightly bent here as we fold forward into our humble warrior. Don't let your block drop. Finding your breath here. Torso can be resting on your thigh. In our forward fold, humble warrior. And then use your next inhale to press into the front foot. Come all the way up. Maybe we reach up one last time with block between our hands. And then bring the blocks down. And this time we're going to step it back into downward facing dog. Now if you can't do your downward facing dog because of shoulder issues, you can come down into child's pose, or you can come into tabletop and do some rounds of cat-cow, or come back into those shoulder blade push-ups to strengthen the weakness and the injuries of the shoulder here. The rest of you can move through a vinyasa, going through plank and lowering down and finding your back bend being either cobra or up dog on your inhale, and finding your way back to down dog on the exhale. So lots of choices for whatever you've got going on in your body. Let's step that left foot forward, coming into a lunge. And have your block handy again. This time we're coming into crescent lunge. So same action with the block between your hands behind your back. Just pressing into the block with fingertips, lifting the belly up. More upright, drawing the pelvis upright, lifting the heart up. And keeping that bend in the front knee. And keep pressing into the block, drawing the block away from your back body here. And rolling the shoulders back. And then let's reach it up. So same thing, but we're reaching up above our head here. And then bringing the block into the right hand. Right hand comes down and reach the left hand up to the sky. Again, you can take that variation we did the first round of the left hand being on your hip if reaching up's not appropriate for you. I'm just holding a little bit longer as we twist to our left here. And then release the hands down. We're going to step back into downward facing dog. Your opportunity to take another vinyasa or flow. Opportunity to stay in down dog or take child's pose if you wish. And then we're moving to our second side as right foot comes forward. Bring the block between your hands, pressing fingertips into the block to hold it, lifting the low belly up, lifting the heart up. Nice bend in the front knee into our crescent lunge. And keep opening the heart, pressing into the blocks, drawing the block away. And that act of pressing the block helps to strengthen the shoulder girdle. And then reach the block up to the sky here in front of you, above you. And now block in the left hand. And you can bring the block down inside your foot or outside your foot. I have some obstacles inside my foot, so I'm doing outside the foot. And then the same variations for that right hand, the top arm. You can reach it up or keep it on your hip if it's not appropriate for you to reach up. Stay with your breath, your ujjayi breath here, and use your exhale to release down. Step it back, downward facing dog. Again, taking your variations. You might need child's pose here. Give your wrists and shoulders a break. You might take a flow. Coming forward to plank and lowering down, either knees, chin, chest, chaturanga if your shoulders are healthy. Or you might do those same shoulder blade push-ups in plank as we did in tabletop. And since I have a puppy under me, that's what I chose to do. Taking a couple more breaths wherever you're at. And finding your way into downward facing dog. So we're all in the same place here. And stepping left foot forward, stepping right foot forward. Coming into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow and press into the earth as you rise up and reach up, coming into mountain pose. Hands draw through heart center. Take a couple breaths here in your mountain pose. Bring awareness into the shoulder area and just notice what you're sensing, what you're feeling. And then inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, we bow. Using our blocks again, stepping right foot back And bringing the foot down for warrior two, the heel down for our warrior two position. So we're going to bring some arm movement into our warrior two. So release the arms in front of you, let them cross in front of you, and then circle them wide, reach up, let them cross up above your head. And then let your arms cross opposite of whatever they did the first round, alternating which way they cross in front of you as well as above you. So we're just making big half circles with our arms and rotating those muscles in the shoulder blade area. And then bring your hands to heart center, press the palms up to the sky and circle around, bringing the arms down in front of the pelvis and repeating. It's almost like as we press our palms into center, we're growing our seeds of intention up to the sky and then releasing and circling wide. And as you circle wide on this third time, bring your arms parallel to the floor into warrior two. And just hold here for a few breaths. And then use your next inhale to move into peaceful warrior. Staying with that ujjayi breath here, building space. And now we're moving into a variation of side angle. So that left elbow comes to that front knee. And if you're able, bring the hand in the same length as the thigh and possibly even the hand behind your hip. You can reach the top arm, the right arm, straight up to the sky, or take the variation of reaching overhead as we normally do in our side angle. And as you have your elbow on your knee, press elbow into knee and knee into elbow. Hopefully you're not falling over like I am with my little puppy obstacle. Bring your feet parallel, facing the long side of your mat. If it's appropriate, intertwine your fingers behind your back. If it's not, bring your hands to your hips as you fold forward into wide-legged forward fold. You can also do the same variation with your block of pressing the fingertips into the block rather than intertwining your fingers, and strengthen through the shoulders a little bit more without adding stress to an injured shoulder if that's what you're dealing with. On your inhale breath, rise all the way up. Turn your body to the top of your mat and step back into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe you decided to take a vinyasa and meet us back in down dog. And then moving into our second side. So the right foot steps forward for warrior two. And I'm just switching so that you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to do those same arm variations that we did in our warrior two on the first side. So making these nice big circles, release the hands down, let the forearms cross in front of you, and then circle wide, let the arms cross up above your head. And changing which arm crosses in front with each breath. Inhaling to reach up, and the exhale, we reach down. Keep moving with your breath, circling those shoulders. And this time, bring the hands to touch and press together and open wide. Hands come in front of the pelvis, press the palms together, reach all the way up to the sky and circle wide. And last round, press up through heart center above your head and circle wide, pausing in our warrior two, arms parallel to the floor here, holding for just a breath or two before we move into peaceful warrior. Oops. And from peaceful warrior, we're moving into our side angle. So bringing the elbow to the knee or the inside of the knee, and maybe the hand comes to the back of the hip. Press the elbow into the knee into the elbow. Top arm can reach to the sky or overhead in our side angle variation we're working with here. So you'll feel this very differently in the shoulder with that right arm down on the knee in this position. And then inhale, rise up, bring the feet parallel, facing the long side of your mat. And again, you can choose hands to the hips, or intertwining the hands behind your back, or take the block variation that we did last version as well, but just allow the neck to release. And allow the breath to come back to Ujjayi breath if you've lost it. Inhale to come all the way up. And then pivoting to the top of your mat. We're stepping back into downward facing dog once again. And you can take a flow here if you want. Take child's pose. Or even take tabletop and do some shoulder blade push-ups. You choose what's appropriate for what's going on in your body today. And let me tell you, it's not easy to do chaturanga and up dog with a dog underneath you. All of us finding our way back to down dog. And then using your exhale breath to step, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway, lift the heart, lengthen the spine. Exhale to bow. Inhale to rise and reach up to the sky. Bring the hands through your heart center, coming into mountain pose, and release your hands down. Take a couple breaths here, and then use the inhale to reach high to the sky. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, lift halfway. On the exhale, we're stepping left foot back. And then rising into our crescent moon position. Hands draw through heart center. We're preparing to twist towards your right side. So catching that elbow on the outside of the knee, hands at heart center here. And then if it's comfortable, if you can do it, we open the hands into cactus arms, keeping that elbow on the outside of the knee. So this is really working the back, the shoulder blade area and the upper back here. And then hands to heart center, release down to the mat, step back down dog. And you can also transition up to mountain pose if down dog's not appropriate for you today. And then moving to our second side, the left foot steps forward, and if you're in mountain pose, the right foot steps back. Coming into your crescent lunge on our second side, hands come through heart center. Lean the torso forward as we prepare for our twist to the left this time. So catching the elbow on that left knee, we're twisting left. Hands are at heart center. And then option to open into cactus arms and keep pressing that elbow into the knee as you have your arms open, opening the chest, collarbones wide here. Holding for another breath. And then hands back to heart center, unwind, hands down to the mat. Step back down dog or step forward to mountain pose if that is more appropriate for you. Taking the variations that make the most sense for you. And if you've taken down dog, you might be moving through a vinyasa. You might be staying in down dog or child's pose. Really want to make the practice work for you, what your body needs today. And then from your down dog, releasing your knees down and coming into Sphinx pose. So the elbows come down, forearms down, palms down. Drawing the elbows towards the hips, lengthening the spine, pubic bone presses down, tops of the feet press down. And so this is our back bend, our heart opener. And then curling the toes under, lifting up into dolphin plank. So we're working between strengthening in the shoulders and opening through the heart center. So drop the knees, slowly lower the pelvis as we lengthen the spine, coming back into Sphinx. So we're going to make this transition a few times. Holding Sphinx, lengthening the spine, opening the heart, shoulders away from the ears. And then we curl the toes under, lifting the pelvis up, lifting the knees up, coming into dolphin plank. Staying with your Ujjayi breath here. Then we drop the knees, slowly lower the pelvis as we continue to lengthen the spine, drawing the elbows back towards the hips, heart forward, tops of the feet press down, pubic bone presses down. And then one more time, curling the toes under, dolphin plank once again. And then knees touch down, pubic bone slowly lowers, keeping the spine long. And then we're pressing up and back into child's pose, releasing the arms wherever is most comfortable for you in your child's pose. Breathing into the back body, releasing. And then inhaling up, we're going to come into a seat. And we're going to work with some twists. So left leg is straight, right knee is bent. Normally we draw that foot in as close as we can, but today we're going to have that foot away from us just a little bit, so not as deep of a bend on that right knee. And then we're twisting towards the right. So right hand's behind you. The left hand can be wrapped around that knee if you're able. Bring that left elbow onto the outside of that right knee. And it might mean that you need to move that foot forward to release a little bit. So we're twisting to the right. Left elbow's caught on the right knee. And we're pressing that hand, that elbow back. Now see if keeping the body nice and upright that you can bring the back arm into cactus arms. Stay there for a few breaths, and then if you're able, keep your torso exactly where it is. See if you can bring your hands to heart center and release that elbow from the knee. And then go ahead and unwind. If you wish, you can come into a little forward fold just to release before we move into second side. So this time bending left knee. And again, we don't want it bent as deep as we normally would have it, as the foot a little further away as we twist towards our left side. Spine nice and tall here. Elbow can come to the outside of that knee, and adjust that foot so that you can easily do this. Twisting left hand behind you to start. Right elbow pressing into that left knee. And then see if you can cactus arm your back arm. So lifting that back hand up. Keep pressing the straight leg down. You can see Beecher's pushing my leg down for me. And then if you're able, see if you can bring both hands to heart center without losing your twist. So it's a lot of core work here as well as the shoulders, the upper back work. And then release out of your twist. Straighten both arms. Let's come into a little bit of a forward fold here to release. And don't worry how deep you're going. We're just using this as a counter pose to release any tension out of the hips from that twist. And then from here, we're moving into Janir Sirsasana, which is a head to knee pose. So left leg is straight, right foot is bent like tree pose, foot into the inside of the thigh. And then we're drawing the spine long and lengthening over that leg. And you might not get very deep here, and that's okay. But we're really working to extend through that right side, through the right arm. And as we extend that right arm maybe a little longer than the left, it helps to bring that right side ribs more parallel to the floor. This releases any tension in the low back as well as in the hip and also hamstrings. And then we slowly begin to release upright and switching to our second side. Straightening both legs for a moment. Maybe you want to fold over both legs in Paschimottanasana before we move into second side. Sometimes that can feel really nice to balance the pelvis and the hips. And so now left knee is bent, right leg is straight. The foot is flexed on that right foot, and we begin to fold over that straight leg. Keeping the spine long, so we're not trying to get our nose to our knee. It's almost as though we're trying to draw the chest forward towards the foot. And this time we're looking to lengthen through the left arm a little bit more than the right, which helps draw those left ribs more parallel to the floor. Stay with your ujjayi breath here if you've lost it. Breathing into any tension that you're feeling in whatever part of the body that you're feeling it. And then using your next inhale to rise up. And again, both feet straight out in front of you. And Paschimottanasana, our forward fold here. And grab onto your shins, your ankles, your toes, whatever is available to you. And just nicely lengthen through the back body, through the hamstrings. Inhale, halfway lift, holding on to whatever your hands reached. And then exhale, fold forward again. Inhale up, halfway lift, lengthening up, and exhale, fold. So this is very similar action to what we do standing through our sun salutations. This time we come all the way upright. Feet are still flexed here. Just sitting nice and tall, and then inhale, reach arms up to the sky. Flip the palms, intertwine your fingers and flip the palms up to the sky. And keep reaching up as we breathe here. And maybe you can even add an inhale retention at the top of your breath as we continue to reach up, lengthen up here, building some prana. And then exhale. Release the hands down to the thighs, close your eyes, and just sit for a moment and feeling how long the spine feels. And now from here, we're going to make our way back into downward facing dog. Now we're going into pigeon pose. If down dog's not appropriate for you, you can move into pigeon pose from tabletop as well. We're starting with the right leg, drawing that right knee towards the right wrist and left ankle towards the left wrist. So we're starting in upright pigeon, so lengthening that back leg back behind us, middle of the thigh towards the floor. It's almost like we're just going to pulse with our breath. So very slightly as you inhale, maybe lifting the hips a little higher, and as we exhale, sinking a little lower. Just doing that 3 times. Not a big pulsation, just subtle movement here. And then with spine nice and long, we begin to exhale into sleeping pigeon. So you might come to forearms. You might have a block under your forehead. You might stack your fists. Or you might release your forehead all the way down to the mat with arms extended. You choose what's appropriate for you. Doesn't matter how deep you go. Sensation is what we're looking for here. After all that shoulder work, we want to give our hips a little bit of love here. Release tension through the hips. Nice breath here, sending the breath wherever you need to make space in the body. Breathing deeply. Staying with your ujjayi breath, but maybe softening the ujjayi a little bit. So option to stay in your sleeping pigeon or come up to your left forearm and begin to move into a twist as you bend the back leg and reach the right hand towards that opposite foot. So a little bit of a front body opener with a gentle, gentle spinal twist. And again, option to stay in the first variation of sleeping pigeon. And then from here, we're making your way back into downward facing dog or back into tabletop if that's the variation that you're transitioning in and out of. And then left foot comes forward for our pigeon on our second side. So taking a moment to adjust, bringing the center of the thigh towards the floor, towards your mat, towards the earth, and lengthening the spine up, lifting the heart up. And then those same pulsations with the breath. As you inhale, maybe the hips lift a little bit higher away from the earth, and as you exhale, maybe they sink down a little bit. Just using a little bit of the strength to lift and soften. And then when you're ready, moving into your variation of sleeping pigeon on your second side. Letting the forehead rest wherever is appropriate on this side. Finding your breath and using the inhales to make space and the exhales to release. So same as the first side, you can stay in sleeping pigeon for the next few breaths, or if you want a little more front body opening, you can move into this variation of right forearm to the floor and reaching the left arm towards the back foot as you bend the knee on that back leg. And then opening the heart, leaning back just a little bit to open. This is really nice if you have tight psoas or hip flexors or tight hamstrings. And then go ahead, release out of that, making your way back to tabletop or down dog, whichever transition pose you're using today. Take a couple breaths here, maybe walk it out. And if you feel like you want to take a flow and meet us back in down dog, you can do that as well. And if you feel like you need child's pose, you can do that as well. So take whatever position or flow that is appropriate for you. And then from down dog, you can release down into child's pose. And then forward onto your belly. So we're all going to meet on your belly, however you choose to move there. So our left arm is coming into a cactus position, palm down on the floor. And then bend that right knee so that it's parallel to your hip on the floor. The right elbow is bent and the fingertips are on the floor. So from this position, see if you can lift that cactus arm, your left arm, forearm and hand up off the floor. And then release it down, rest it, and lift it up again. We're going to do that 3 times. So again, bringing that muscular action in those rotator cuffs, the shoulder blade area. So when you've done your 3rd time, you can release the leg back to its position and bend left knee parallel to the hip. Left fingertips on the floor, left elbow bent up to the sky. Now the right arm comes into that cactus position. So same thing. We are working to lift the forearm, the elbow, and the hand up off the floor. Hold it for a breath, and then release it down, doing that 3 times. And then when you've done your 3 breaths, release down. You can have your forearms under your forehead, or you can release your arms beside you and turn your head to one side. Bring your awareness to sensations in the shoulders, and then turn your head to the opposite side. And then hands underneath, press up and back, child's pose. Breathe into your upper back here. And then from child's pose, we're making our way to a seat and then down onto your back. So draw your knees into your chest, maybe rock from side to side, and feel that massage on the upper back, sacrum, low back. And then bring your arms wide and wrap them around, crossing your arms in front of you and reaching hands towards the shoulder blades. So the same thing we did at the beginning of class. Just see if it feels a little different now at the end of class. Breathe deep into the upper back, into the chest. Holding this just for one more breath. And then releasing the arms wide and changing the cross. Same thing, second side or second cross. Nice deep breath, elbows lifted, fingertips towards the shoulder blades. Even if you can't grasp your shoulder blades, we're still reaching in that direction. And then go ahead and release out of that. Your arms can be straight out from the shoulders, resting on the floor here. Palms facing up. And then draw the right knee in. You can wrap your hands around your shin or the back of the thigh. And then moving into a twist so that right knee comes over to the left side. You can look opposite your knee. Your arms can be straight out from your shoulder, or you might bring that the arm opposite of your bent knee straight up overhead. I prefer the sensation of the arms parallel here to the shoulders. And go ahead, come out of that twist, both feet ground down, and then straighten the right leg as you draw left knee in, and then moving into your spinal twist on your second side. And again, variation for your arm to reach overhead, or let it come straight out from the shoulder out to the side. Your right hand might be on that top knee, or it might also be extended straight out from the shoulder. Slowly come back to center. Allow both feet to come down and then draw the knees into the chest. And let's rock from side to side. Just feel the sensation of the earth beneath you and that gentle massage that the back gets as we rock from side to side here. And then pausing in center, releasing the feet down. And slowly extending the legs straight into Shavasana. If you need sweater, socks, bolsters, blankets, whatever you need for your Shavasana, go ahead and set yourself up for a comfortable rest. And as you find your way onto your back, take a moment to just notice any sensations you might be feeling in the shoulder blades as they rest on the support of the earth. Even through the front of the shoulders as you allow the heart to open and the shoulders to sink back towards earth. If you can bring the arms far enough away from the body so that your palms can face up, do so if that's appropriate for you. And now with each exhale, allow yourself to sink into the support of that surface beneath you. Sometimes we have shoulder issues because we feel the weight of the world upon our shoulders. So for the next few moments, allow yourself to surrender your weight to the gravity of earth, to the support of earth. Letting your breath soften. The eyes to close. And the whole body to release. without altering that sensation of deep relaxation and surrender. Begin to just become aware of your breath, the rise and fall of your chest, of the belly. And as you become aware of the breath, slowly begin to deepen the breath, bringing more awareness to the body. As you bring awareness to the body through the breath, begin to bring awareness into the back body, where the shoulder blades meet the earth. And feel how you are supported, held, as you surrender. Take 3 more deep rounds of breath here, still in your state of relaxation. Noticing how you can be aware and still stay relaxed and surrender. And then slowly begin to initiate gentle movements into the body. Eventually finding your way into fetal position and up to a seat for meditation. Sitting on a bolster, a block, a cushion, or even a chair. And then as you find this new position, whatever that looks like for you, take a moment to reestablish that connection to the earth below you, to that solid surface beneath you that supports you and holds you. And as you find that rooted sensation, allow your spine to rise up, reaching the crown up to the sky, allowing the breath to flow more freely with a long spine and an open heart. Let the head rest easily on the support of the neck, drawing the back of the skull back slightly, and the ears back slightly, without strain. And then we're moving into awareness of the breath and beginning to find a 4-count breath. Sometimes coming back into your ujjayi breath can help that embodiment of the breath. So inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold the exhale for 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue with this breath using your gentle ujjayi breath for equal breath, samavriti. And if the 4 count doesn't work for you, you can make it a 6 count or a 3 count. as long as the count is equal for your holds, your inhale, and your exhale. And continue on your own for a few more rounds. Complete one more round of your equal breath. And then release the counting. And just notice the smoothness and the ease of your breath. And then we're moving into alternate nostril breath. So using the right hand, the index and middle finger folded towards the palm or towards your forehead. And using the ring finger and the thumb to alternately close the nostrils. So bringing the hand into position. Start by closing the left nostril and inhaling through the right to a count of 4. And you might pause at the top of the breath here. And then switching to exhale out the left nostril for a count of 4. And maybe a slight pause at the bottom of the exhale. And then inhaling left for a count of 4 with a pause at the top. And exhaling right. Now continue like this on your own. And we'll add some visualization to your alternate nostril breath. So as you inhale, whatever nostril you're inhaling, envision inhaling white healing light up that same side of the body from your root all the way to your crown. And as you exhale, whatever exhale nostril you're using, exhale all your negative thoughts out of that side of your body. Inhaling white healing light from the root to the crown on that side body. Exhaling self-criticism, anger, worry. Inhale white healing light from the root to the crown on that side body. And exhale tension, anxiety, fear on that side body. Inhaling white healing light from the root to the crown on that side. And exhaling resentment, blame, guilt on that side body. Inhaling healing white light from the root to the crown. And exhaling shame, unworthiness, being unlovable. Inhaling the white healing light. Exhaling being not enough, being less than, and feeling small. Inhaling healing white light. Exhaling false beliefs. Inhaling healing white light. Continue in this manner on your own for the next few rounds of alternate nostril breath. And as you complete this next round, release your hand down to your knee or your thigh. And just pause in awareness here. And then take a deep inhale through both nostrils, bringing your hands to your heart center. Exhale out your mouth audibly. And then take another inhale and feel the vibration of Om. Namaste and have a wonderful day.